Oh, why? Oh, I saw I see that I'm live, but it also says I have an error. I'm confused. I guess it's on X, there's an error, but I'm live on YouTube? Yes? Okay, everything's working now. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world and on the replay. Thank you so much for tuning in to this super special, awesome edition of Woman Crush Wednesday. I'm stoked. For the last 2 years, I have done this show, and nearly every single time, except for maybe like 2 or 3 exceptions, I've interviewed somebody from within the Hex or Pulse Chain community who most of the time was someone that had been new to the space, really maybe hadn't streamed before. Georgia Carrera, her first ever stream was my show way back in the day, if you know who she is. That was a similar case for several other women streamers in our space. And I just love uplifting other women in general, especially here, because when it comes to the digital world and this digital space, there very often we are the minority, especially in this combo, right, of finance and digital crypto, right? Like there's a small group of women. Very cool that in Hex that ratio is, I think, not as bad as it is in other cryptocurrencies. A lot of really smart, brilliant women in this space. So my goal is as often as I can, and it's not a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not consistent with this show. I just do it as often as I have the time or energy to do with everything else that I'm doing right now. But I recently, so first of all, shout out to Gary Funding Jim. Through Gary, I ended up in AI spaces, like hanging out in spaces a little bit more, which led me to learning about some new AI tools, which led me to meeting new women and people in this space. And through that whole wonderful web, I found out and learned and met Jessa. And one of the first things that I just got so stoked on was that I went to her page and I found there's an idea that I had, and actually RG3 and I had been speaking about this back and forth. We were wanting to create a series of basically character like emojis for him, right? So like RG3 being angry and being happy and being sad and all these different things. And while I'm starting to do more in the AI space and creating images, I'm thinking, hey, how, because you get different it generates differently every time you're trying to generate something. So to have a consistent character is a difficult task to accomplish. Well, Jessa figured it out. And on top of that, she has figured out so many different ways for AI to really work for us and get things done. Anything, I mean, everything from like visual, like I just mentioned with the characters, to meal prepping. I mean, she's really got her mind wrapped around how this artificial intelligence can work for us wonderfully. Let me say what's up to the chat real quick, and then I'm going to bring our guest on. What is up, friends? Hello, we got oh, hey, this gentleman here. Y'all follow this guy. He was speaking to RG3. I think that was Monday on Chatting with the Captain. Brilliant dude. He and I think he and RG are like brothers from another mother, like longly separated, but very similar ideals and views. Very positive guy. So Joshua Bergland. I don't want to mess that up. Joshua T. Bergland, really cool guy. I think we're going to probably have him on Chatting with the Captain again. Hello, Matt. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. What's up, Naz? Hello. What's up, Tang Gang? Shout out to the Tang Gang. So just as backstage, I'll just mention this Tang Gang here that you're seeing. This is a group of really emphatic, wonderful, many artists, music, NFTs all over the space. And they are a wonder machine of content creation and meme making and all sorts of stuff. So I put this in their Telegram room because I think that you are going to have a lot of what we call alpha, right? Like just really great information to help kind of everyone in our space. And that's part of why I wanted to highlight, and I want to highlight people in general that are in the AI space, because the more we learn how to use AI, the greater we can be at getting the message out there. So that's what I want to do. Make it Miriam. Girl, I heard about your hands and I'm so sad to hear that. I feel now super extra special because Sir Fudpuddles is like the last of his kind. I hope that your hands get healing and that you get all better. And I'm stoked on your baking. So send me cookies. Love you. Johnny B is up in the house. And here's our guest, IVersusAI. Just saying what's up in the chat. Multitasking. Look at that. Drix, good to see you. Dr. H, the chiropractor. Hey, man. Hey, reply to me. I sent you an email about the chiropractor stuff. So yeah. What's up, Bullish? Good to see you. Let's see. Crypto Compassion in the house. Optimality. What is going on, friend? Hex Glenn, good to see you too. Bullish, that's right. This is the trick to the character creation is the seed. Zero with the oranges. Sir Fudpuddles. That's him. He's the best. I had this created by Make It Miriam, who is crochet and just like general brilliant maker of things extraordinaire. And I call him Sir Fudpuddles because FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And we in crypto, we just went through the longest bear market crypto has ever seen. So I decided that since I survived the bear market, I needed a bear to commemorate the fact that I made it, and wag me. We're all gonna make it. So that's the origin story of Sir Fudpuddles. All right, without any further ado, again, and let me let you all know this is probably the last time I will address the chat. If y'all have any questions for our guest, I will kind of go through and look around for those to see if there's anything that makes a good point. But in general, these shows are just about my guest. I have some pre-formatted questions that I'm going to ask her, and we're just going to kind of go from there. So if I don't say hi to you, don't be mad. I still love you. All right, without further ado, Jessa, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, I think you're muted.
I'm muted.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm a pro at this. I am so pro. I'm on top of it. I've only been on YouTube for this year it'll be 12 years, and I was live streaming much of that time. Yeah, it's true. Despite that. Anyway, yeah, hi, I'm Jessa, everyone. And I am IVersusAI on YouTube. And hi, welcome.
Yay. And all the links for Jessa are in the description already. In fact, I forgot to put this little thing up. Bing. There we go. There we go.
Oh, look at you. You are so... I'm really impressed with SJ because she is literally sitting in a moving vehicle right now.
That's true.
Like, that's... Well, it's not literally moving now, but the vehicle can move. And she's streaming. And it was all I could do to do it from my desk.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Pretty impressed.
I'm pretty used to it. I used to, in fact, someone just mentioned this the other day, but when I started streaming a couple of years ago, one of the things I would do that people would just hate, some of them didn't care. Some of my viewers were really just worried and concerned because I would have my phone, I'd be streaming from my phone while I was driving. So
SJ.
I know.
Don't do that, you guys.
Haven't done it in a long time. Don't be like SJ.
Yeah, don't be like, not in that way.
All right. Well, so like I said in the intro, this show is about you, and we want to learn a lot about what you're up to, what you're doing, where you come from, what's your whole deal. So just go ahead and begin with telling us a little bit about how you found yourself creating in this digital world. And that's awesome that you've been on YouTube for 12 years. So yeah, tell me.
Yeah, my first video went up November 11th, 2012.
Wow.
Not on the IVersusAI channel, but on a different channel that I ran for 9 years. And I got it up to about 12,000 subscribers. It was a gaming channel. Cool. And I did a lot of role plays where I voiced characters. My first game was Skyrim. Okay. And I had a character named Mala, and I would voice her. And it was really before, role plays kind of got off the ground. Some people do role plays now, and they'll voice their character. There's some great ones. Rycon, Rycon. Rycon role plays is one, but this is not really I'm sorry, this is off topic for this particular audience,
No,
but that's how I got
I was
started.
a gamer once upon a time. I actually used to compete, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay, maybe we are back on topic. Anyway, yeah, so I did that. I started with Skyrim. I did Dragon Age Origins. Did it then, and I did The Sims for
Okay.
years,
Yeah, yeah.
playing with all the different. I even had merch because
Nice.
I hired someone to make watercolors of the village that I created, which was called Kettle Falls, and all the different Sims. Like there was the little Romany caravans, which were um they were I'm trying to I have to use this word because I don't know how else to use it, but I know it's a word that is not to be used anymore. But they're gypsy caravans. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry for anyone who I have just
That's
offended with that
interesting.
word.
I did not know that that was an offensive word.
It is actually. I
Oh.
didn't know it either. Hey, Miriam. Yeah, The Sims. Oh, The Sims. But I played The Sims too because, and I kept it going for a long time. But then I just felt I needed to make a change. So now I am, and I waited for a couple of years and tried
Okay.
other channels, trying to figure out what it is that was my thing. Like, what's
Mhm.
my thing? You know,
Yep.
um, and because really, what I loved about gaming, I'm not a gamer really, a gamer like competing. I
Mhm.
wouldn't.
Yeah, I get
Mm-mm.
that.
In fact, my claim to fame is the man who did Baldur's Gate 3, Sven
Uh-huh.
Vink, head of Larian Studios, once totally kicked my ass on camera in front of 7,000 people. Totally embarrassing, not fun. Don't try it.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, that really did happen at PAX West a couple of years
Okay.
ago.
Alright.
Yeah. And because he said, "Sit down, interview me." He knew I was part of the gaming space, and then we played some of Dragon Age. I mean, of oh, Divinity: Original Sin 2, and in the arena area of the game. I couldn't compete in the slightest, because I'm just not really a gamer. I'm more of a
Yeah.
storyteller who uses games to tell stories. So, and I should also keep chat up a little bit here because to see what you guys are saying, because you guys are awesome in chat. I love your chat. It's really great.
Thanks.
A lot of good
I
people
love
in here.
my chat too. We got a great
There's
community.
some awesome people.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing now, so I waited for a while to find my thing. And my thing, it turns out, was AI. I took to it like a duck on water. I love AI. And here's my AI, like the first time I met AI or I connected with AI was
Okay.
on August 1st of 2022 when Midjourney version 3 had come out and everyone was starting to talk about it. And someone posted in one of the discords that I'm in, and they posted a picture of Samuel Jackson
Uh-huh.
like smoking basically. And I thought, wow, that is something new I've never seen before. I hopped onto Midjourney, and back then there was a free tier. You could get some generations, like maybe 20, 30 pictures or whatever it was, generations. And I had a story, being a storyteller, as I just said, I had a story that I was thinking of in my mind, and I thought I'd love to see these characters. I typed in, it was a story about an airship
Nice.
that had a captain and a crew, and it was a kind of Persian kind of time, and even though Persia doesn't exist anymore now,
Mhm.
but it was in that time, so I was kind of Middle Eastern kind of vibe like that. And I typed in the name of the captain, and back then I didn't know this, but if you want to have consistent characters, a little trick I learned very early on is to just name the character.
Oh,
So his name was Captain Casius, and I put that in, and then I described him just as he was in my mind, and then he came up. He just came out. I actually have those images still. I'm never getting rid of them.
nice.
Um, and I forgot to ask you if I could screen share, but
Yes,
uh,
absolutely. Yeah.
oh, I can? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I will show you the very first images that I did with in Midjourney. And when I look back on them, they look really kind of, dated because Midjourney has just advanced. AI
Yeah.
technology has advanced so fast. But yeah, these are, I'm going to pull one up now and just pop one on screen. See if I can find one here. It'll take a while to load. And I did all the characters in the story and all of the backgrounds, and I did them in watercolors, and they just looked amazing. Just amazing. So I will show you some of those as they're coming up now. Ah, here they are. So I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
And I am going to share screen. And it works best here. Let's see. I'm going to try sharing my entire screen. There we go. And click allow. I hope that you guys are able to see that. I don't know.
Yes. Well, so now,
You see, so if you
There we
see,
go.
if I go over here, yeah. Oh, okay. There you go. So this, here it was. That was him.
Wow.
And when I look at this now, you know,
Mhm.
it's really, really dated. And then, and as I can see, I thought I put his name in. I'm proving myself wrong. He was a male airship captain. But later on, I figured out how to add names to the characters. There we go. So Jessas was her name. And this was one of the bad guys. And when I look at this, it just looks really dated. But back then, it was transformative. You might be wondering who the woman in the green is. I was trying to do a story about Willy Wonka's mom. Seriously.
Oh, it's cute. I like that.
Yeah. But here were all the characters. Here was the images are really small. I don't know why. Maybe it's a problem with Midjourney. Maybe it was me. Who knows? But anyway, this was like where Captain Cassius was his first. His town burned down. Basically, was the story. And so the first thing I did was I put in a watercolor painting of an Arabic kingdom in the desert that is under siege. And when it came out with these real watercolors, and I was just blown away. So I will stop sharing my screen now so you guys can see. So that's basically my origin story for AI. After about a year, in March of this year, I had discovered ChatGPT. The first thing I asked ChatGPT to do was to do therapy, actually, to be like a talking journal that I would just talk to it like a journal, and it would just talk back to me like it pretended to be my journal and help me through whatever problem I was going through. That's the very first thing I asked it to do. And it did. And watching the words like come down the screen, like I just pour in, I just said, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that, and I really need help. And can you help me? And will you pretend to be my talking journal? Sure, no problem. I can be your talking journal. And here is what I think about what you just said. And I was like, just
wow. I
these
never
words coming down the screen. It was amazing. And after that, I was hooked.
Wow.
So that was basically the first thing I did with ChatGPT. And after that was in December of 2022 when ChatGPT came out. ChatGPT's birthday is November 30th, I think, was the first anniversary.
Okay.
Anyway, of when ChatGPT came into the world, and March of 2023. So basically, about 6 months, whatever that was later, 3 months later, 4 months later, I can't count. Any case, I decided to start a YouTube channel. I thought this is my thing.
Awesome.
And what I wanted to do was to basically share the things I was doing with AI. It's really all I've wanted to do. Basically, I wanted to just talk ad nauseum about AI, which I can, and I would if you let me. So I started IVersusAI, and it's coming up. It's 2,000 subscribers now. It's a very tiny channel, and I've done some really fun things with AI. For example, you were talking about the pantry thing. I think that's the thing we got connected on. But I have ChatGPT organizing my entire pantry because we were wasting a lot of food and going out to eat all the time. So we were cleaning out the fridge, and I said to my husband, I wonder if I can just read everything in the fridge into ChatGPT. And it made me this table organized by the areas in the like the fridge door table.
Yeah.
I can show you again if you want me to
Yeah,
share
yeah,
my screen.
absolutely. Please do. Yeah. I
Okay, I
love
don't know if
like,
anyone in
it's
chat
so
wants to hear.
cool, like,
Do you,
just the like, where your mind goes. Like, I that's the one thing that I'm really finding that I love about AI is, like, the brilliance of people to find all these different ways to utilize it. Like the whole therapy thing, like, I never even would've what? Like, what?
it
That's
was
so
really helpful.
smart.
I do recommend trying it. It would work better on GPT-4. I mean, everything works better on GPT-4, but if you don't have plus 3.5 would probably work too. Although, this was in the early days, they've locked ChatGPT down a lot. And
Yeah.
so I tend to use the API more, which I can also share with you guys how I do that. But basically, that was one of the that was there's I'm always finding new and amazing ways to use it. And that's basically what I want to do is talk about those ways and share those ways. The
Yeah.
challenge with the YouTube channel, I have one big problem with that I've had. This is, like I said, 12 years on YouTube, and this has been my problem the whole way through. I hate editing. I hate it.
Mm.
I hate it with
Mhm.
the passion of 10,000 suns. I can't
Yep.
stand it. And that's why my channel isn't that active, is because I just, by the time I figure out, I don't mind recording. I love talking on the mic. That's one of the reasons why I love um talking with my voice to ChatGPT instead
Mhm.
of typing it in. Um, but yeah, I just hate editing. So that's why there's not a lot of content on the channel. But what there's a video going up tonight actually that is, and I'm halfway through editing it. But I can show you a little bit about that pantry if you want to see it,
Yes.
and just some
Yeah.
other cool things that I've done with ChatGPT. I'm going to just share screen again, and um, I'm going to head over here to ChatGPT and open this up. And I'm going to, here we go. We've marked it pantry. So a neat little tip for those of you guys who use ChatGPT. If you want to save something, they do have this new ability to archive your chats. Although I'm having a problem. I don't know if you guys who use ChatGPT have this problem, but I went ahead and archived a bunch of chats, and now I can't find them. There was a little area here where it said archived chats, and it
Huh.
disappeared. So now I can't find my old chats again, which is kind of a bummer. But
Hmm.
anyway, um, and actually I'm going to show you actually in a better way than, because I'll show you how I talk to ChatGPT. And I do recommend this. If you use ChatGPT on the regular, like I do, and you want to talk to it instead of typing things out. So here's my little pantry chat. I'm going to make that big so you can see it. And you can see here this big old block of text. And I'm going to start this up here. This is Talk to ChatGPT. It's a Chrome extension. I've talked about it a lot on my channel. It's free, and it allows you to talk to ChatGPT. So I'm going to just click Start. And I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but it actually responds back to you in a voice. Not
Wow.
only that, you can actually make it respond to you in any voice that you would
Ah,
like, because
nice.
you can hook it into 11 Labs, which is a site which gives you fantastic AI voices, and including you can also mimic your own voice as
Very
well
cool.
too. So I have a voice lab with all the different voices that I use, and I can hook any of these voices, like Nightly, for example, if I wanted ChatGPT to sound like my personal butler. In any case, when I
Lovely.
start talking to ChatGPT, I can choose a mic here and talk to it, and it'll just go right here in the chat. And it works really well. Unfortunately, it's not working right now. Oh, there it is. It is working. I apologize. There it is. So you can see that all the stuff that I was just saying was going directly into the mic.
Okay.
And so I'll show you how this works really quickly. So if you just want to ask ChatGPT anything, like, what's today's date? And also, could you write a poem about how awesome today is?
Yeah.
Compute prompt. And it talks to you and uses a voice. And so the thing that I do is I have hooked this into my phone
Wow.
using an app called Moonlight Game Streaming. And let me know, chat, if you guys are following along or if I'm going too quickly. So this basically allows me to use my phone to hook up into my main computer here and talk to ChatGPT just like I just did, basically.
Wow.
And it speaks back to me. And it's been very, very helpful for example, I struggled with a problem with a friend, for example. So I would just come here, pour my heart out about it, and then just say, can you help me work through this situation? And the act of talking to it is much more freeing. And I know now, some of you guys might be thinking, well, you can talk to ChatGPT on your phone now. They have the voice implementation, and they do have the voice implementation. However, the problem with that is that it interrupts me. And so now I can speak for as long as I want to into the microphone, taking time to think, pausing, whatever it is. And when I'm done speaking, I say compute prompt, and it sends my prompt in. And I can set that word up, whatever word. I just chose compute prompt because it's pretty easy to say usually. And it's easy. It's like if I just say send, every time I say the word send, it would send the prompt. So it needs to be a phrase that you don't say very often or you aren't likely to say.
Smart.
So I just settled on compute prompt, and that's basically it. So what I did was going over here to the pantry part. I'm just going to scroll all the way up at the beginning of this chat. And so what I did was I just said, listen, I'm cleaning out my fridge and I want to start a pantry organization. And I'm going to be pulling out every bottle in the fridge, and I just put this all in. One of the wonderful things is that this looks like a block of unreadable text to us, but ChatGPT is amazing for understanding stuff that would be a mess. And I said, all I want you to do is ask me some questions that will help me get a clearer idea on how we could organize this pantry. And then I responded to all the questions. And then it started to give me a sample. Well, here's your table. Here's what it could look like, right? And I said, I don't like that. Add this and change that, et cetera, until we got to a table. And I said, well, let's try the first one. And I put in this bottle, the quantity, the expiration date, and et cetera, et cetera. Now let's move down here. This is everything that is in the fridge door. I'm going to just scroll over like this. Everything that is in the fridge door, the purchase date, the priority, what the recipe potential was. And I just did that for everything in the fridge. And I just added it in. I just literally read what was off the bottle, read the expiration date, and it put it in. And then we did the meat and cheese drawer. And then we did the top shelf. And then the middle shelf. And then the lower shelf. I was saying accidentally bottom drawer, but I meant bottom shelf. So I corrected that later on. And then the produce drawer. And then I moved on to the freezer and added in everything from the freezer. And then I added in everything from the chest freezer. And then I finished it off by saying, okay, now that we've done all of that, I would like a quick, simple list of the things that are most likely to go bad and what needs to be used the quickest. And then it gave me a list of what was going to go bad and when.
Wow.
In the fridge. And then I said, perfect. Now we have a problem in that we're hungry and we need to cook something that needs to be cooked very quickly and needs to be used up. So please create a recipe for me. Give me 3 different recipes using this list of things, something from these things that I can use it up since if it's about to expire, And so it gave me 3 different choices of food. Use the almost empty Tillamook medium cheddar, the bread from your pantry, and frozen spaghetti sauce quickly defrosted, because it knew I had spaghetti sauce because I just told it. And so that night I said, I said, these recipes are pretty good. And we added it in. And then it gave me a soup. No, a curry. I ended up cooking the curry recipe. The final thing that I did is when it was cooking the recipe with me, and I'm going to scroll down to show you an example of that. Oh, by the way, it also made me a shopping list based upon what it knew I was about to expire. So it gave me a shopping list, and it was
Wow.
correct. And then I asked it to sort it by aisle in the store. So it did that. And I printed this out. I just copied it by clicking copy code, and I just put it into a little Keep document, Google Keep, if you've heard of that, still note-taking app.
Mm-hmm.
And then took my phone to the store, and we went around to the dairy aisle and got everything. The meat aisle got everything. And then the last thing I did, I just want to show you an example of something down here, is how I used it to So I said, based on the food that's about to expire, the sauces, particularly in the fridge door, and since it knows what's in the fridge door, it knew what I was talking about. I said, give me 3 ideas for some sauces that will go with some chicken parmesan and parmesan encrusted potatoes. It gave me 3 different sauces, and I said, I'm not like this. I don't like that. How about one more? And it gave me some more. I decided to go with our herb and garlic butter, with a splash of lemon. And I said, let's do the garlic and herb butter. And then it gave me the ingredients, gave me the instructions.
Wow.
And then I said, great. I said, now I want you to give me the next step. We'll work step by step through the recipe. Give me a detailed step-by-step recipe, and you will walk me through the recipe, making sure that you continue to mention the quantities at each step. And then I literally had my earbuds in, my phone, which was connected to this screen right here using the Moonlight app that I just showed you. And then I said, literally one step at a time, melt the butter. Next step, please. Next step, please. Next step, please. And I made dinner.
Wow.
And it was great, by the way. My husband is like, whatever you're doing, it's amazing. Because I'm a good cook, but it's really taught me quite a lot. And so I was literally tossing, when it said, toss the carrots in sauce, I was literally tossing the carrots in the sauce. And then I served it to my husband, who was deeply grateful. The last thing I did was, let's see if I can show you. I'm just trying to find the, I also took pictures of, here. Because I really wanted the pictures to be sorted by aisle, I went to my local store and took pictures of each aisle. So it would, when it made my next shopping list, it would actually send me to the correct aisle.
Oh, wow.
So I just took pictures of everything. I thought they were going to think I was casing the joint. But anyway, I took pictures so that the next time I ask it for a shopping list from my actual pantry, it knows exactly what's in my pantry.
Oh my goodness.
And then it'll say, on the shopping list, it'll say aisle 13, head here. Aisle 14, you need this on this aisle. And so this is basically, and this is still in progress, but that's some of the stuff I'm doing with ChatGPT. So I'm going to stop streaming my screen there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got it. This is how I feel right now. Making Miriam says, and here I am asking ChatGPT for YouTube title ideas. Girl.
Miriam, that's so funny. That's one of the things I do too, with ChatGPT. But I learned very quickly that it's very important the words that you use. And thank you, Miriam. If I ask ChatGPT for a list of YouTube titles, it's going to give me a list of crappy YouTube titles. If I ask ChatGPT for a tweet, it's going to give me a crappy tweet. And the reason why is because what it's been trained on is a list of all kinds of YouTube titles. Most of that data is from years ago. And so ChatGPT's mind has a very clear and incorrect idea of what a good YouTube title is. So it'll give you something with some colons in it. If you ask it for a tweet, it'll give you a bunch of emojis and hashtags because the data it was trained on, say 2015 or whatever it was, because they trained it on a bunch of data from the internet that went back for years, right?
Right.
So back in 2012, 2015, some hashtags and some emojis would get you somewhere on Twitter. Now it doesn't. So in order to work with ChatGPT, one of the first things I learned is to not use words. If I want it to write me a tweet, I instead say, give me a statement that is interesting about this particular subject that is approximately 250 characters.
Okay.
And if you try it and you'll say, give me a tweet about AI and amazing things that are happening in the AI space, you'll get a crappy tweet. If you say, give me a statement, a powerful and compelling statement about the amazing things that are happening in AI in 250 characters or less, you'll get a tweet.
There you go. That's what I'm talking. It's like I knew you were gonna share little like nuggets of wisdom like that. Like even just that is huge for our community because that's what it's exactly what I've been doing is write me a tweet for this, that,
Yeah,
and the other
don't say
thing.
that.
Yeah.
And
So now I
I
know.
actually, this is what I do on my channel. I'm so sorry. So first of all, my jumping on the end of your words is because I'm super excited.
What?
I
Fine.
love talking about AI ad nauseum. So, but yeah, this is basically what IVersusAI is about. I teach people the channel's tagline is ChatGPT tips and tricks that no one else is talking about. And I
Yeah.
mean that literally, because I
Yeah.
don't know of anyone else. I'm reading constantly on Reddit, on Twitter. No one mentions this stuff that I'm talking about. It's not because I'm some kind of genius or something. It's just because I don't know. I don't know why, but I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I'm trying to get a voice to do, is to tell people, how to use this tool.
Yeah.
And so it's what leads into why I started Femularity.ai. But you had a structure for what you wanted to ask me, so
I
I'll
did, but
stop
that's
talking
going
for
out the
5
window
minutes.
now because firstly,
She's like,
I
screw it, let's just
yeah,
go.
no. I would love for you if you can find or have the time or energy, I would love for this to be a continual like I want to keep these a little short, so I'm going to give us
Mm,
another like 20 minutes ish
yeah.
like I said, instead of going over those questions where I'm just scrapping that. Um because I would love
Mhm,
to continue this conversation because there's so many nuggets, and you just saying that like kind of want more of a platform for that. Obviously, like you have your own YouTube channel and like you can do that
mhm.
there.
Yeah,
Um,
but I don't have to edit this video, so I'm happy.
that's what I'm saying. And when you said that you don't like editing, in the back of my mind, I was like, that's why I do live streaming most of the time because
Yeah, live streaming,
where
yeah.
do we just go, and this is just what we do is that we don't have to edit this. And I'm right there with you.
I
Video edit,
hate it.
I love doing image editing. I love doing the prompts. I like
Yeah.
adding words to things and I like content and copy editing. But when it comes to
Mhm.
video editing, no. In fact,
Mm-mm.
that's just
There's
something I moved off of my plate onto someone else's because I have the ability now to do that. I had someone come and volunteer, to do that for me. And I was like, yes, thank you. Because that is the one thing that stresses me out the most is like, I just don't want,
I
and
can't.
other people love it. Other people love
They
doing that. I'm like, if
love
you
video
love it,
editing.
take it from me.
Take
So,
it.
yes.
Fly, little bird. Yeah. So, and also chat, if you want to know anything about tips and tricks about AI, or if you're like, how do I get it to stop doing this annoying thing? Just toss it at me and I will answer it as best to my ability. Now we're all learning. And that's the
Yes.
one thing I love about the AI space. I'm no expert. Nobody's an expert. Nobody knows. Even the people
Right.
who built the damn thing don't know.
Yes.
but
Yeah.
but that's why I'm just in there every day exploring and learning and that kind of stuff. So happy to show you some more things that I've done. I know we only have 20 minutes. I
Yeah. And
can
I
tell
definitely
you,
want you to talk
I was just about to go there.
video. There's one other thing I wanna
Um,
mention is that when you just spoke about, you don't know why no one else is talking about. I don't either, but I feel like that's kind of it's really cool that we've connected because I like being the kind of person that's gonna share this kind of information. I think there are some people who like to what we kind of call gatekeep the information and not
Yeah.
want, because they're like, oh no, like I like knowing how to do this, I don't want other people to know how to do it because I've got this edge, you know. But again, that's why I wanted to have you here and have this conversation, because the more we all learn together, the more we
The
can
better we
all
do. Exactly.
exactly. Yep. So
Yeah.
I
No,
digress.
there's none of that sharing, like hiding my prompts or anything like
Right.
that. I'll tell you anything because we're all learning. I mean, what's the worst that happens? You go off and make some art that's kind of vaguely like the same thing that I did. I mean, that's the thing about Midjourney. Even if you put the exact same prompt in, unless you know the seed, and even with the seed, it's going to be vaguely different because generative
Mhm.
AI is, you're not going to ever know every image that comes out of Midjourney is quite literally completely unique to
Mhm.
you, and it cannot be stolen. And all someone else can do is kind of copy it. But even when you copy it, it's never quite that satisfying. It's so much better when you get something through your own
Yes.
explorative path.
Mhm.
And so people are doing things with the GPT store, like trying to lock down their prompts, that kind of stuff, and make it a trade secret. Eh, not Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has said many times that the number one thing that's going to happen, besides the need for universal basic income, which is very true, um, is that the price for knowledge, the cost of knowledge, is going to rapidly trend down to zero.
Mm.
And because as people begin to learn how they can work with the model and get out of it what they need, then they're not going to hire an expensive coach or take that course because they're
Yep.
going to realize they can just do it by asking ChatGPT. The trick is basically it's kind of like learning, like moving to a different country and learning someone who speaks the same language with you, but the little different, the culture's different. That's
Mhm.
basically how it is with ChatGPT. It has its own way of thinking and speaking. And when you figure it out how that is, you start to learn how to ask it in certain ways. And that's why if people go and just hop onto ChatGPT 3 and say, can you give me a really cool tweet? It's going to spit out some crap and they're going to go, this is terrible,
Yeah.
because they don't know how to work with it to get exactly what they want. And a lot of times it's just a certain type of wording. So there's so many things I can show you. I can show you, for example, Miriam, if you're doing, a YouTube channel, I have a prompt that gives me the description for my YouTube that is wonderful, written in real language. I'm trying to think of what the coolest thing I could tell you. There's two things I can teach you guys. One is how to make ChatGPT sound like a real human being. There's a trick to that. Because if you've worked with ChatGPT at all, you'll know that the way it writes, if you just tell it, write me a cool blog post, I can now pretty much, when I read something, tell if it's written by AI. There's just a way
Mhm.
that it writes that's
Mhm.
very inhuman.
I read recently, there was an article that went around in our community that was about the founder of the token, whose name's Richard Hart, and it talked about his kind of like his career path. One of the things it mentions is the book called Sci-Vive, which I did the audiobook for. That's kind of a little bit of what I'm known for in the community here. And when I read it, I knew right off the bat, because of the way they said they instead of using Sci-Vive like the book, they used the phrase scivive.com, and I was just like, that's not even right. Like, I don't even know how, like, obviously whoever wrote this used ChatGPT and like didn't actually do any research, and so
Exactly. You can
yeah.
tell a ChatGPT book like that, especially the
Mhm.
earliest versions of them. People are getting smarter and figuring out how to work with it. And like, for example, the website I just built, which is the second thing I can show you guys. So you chat can let me know what you want to hear from. But the other thing I want to share with you is how I built a business in the um let's start this again. This month, I built a business, an online business, a minimum viable product in 9 days using AI. And I thought I could show you about that as well too, because I used a lot of different tools with that process. So, yeah, yeah. Your face, your face is frozen on a look of
Oh,
like,
no.
so it was kind of funny because you were just staring at me like, and I realized you were frozen for a minute. But anyway, yeah, in 9
The
days. And
suspense.
so, um, So yeah, I can't see chat, but I don't know if they're interested in any of this, but
Yeah, they definitely
uh
are. I mean, people are just saying like there's a couple people talking about tools that they know about in general.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I
Um,
will go with, since we have about 20 minutes, I'll go with the thing that probably has more impact. And talk to you another day about how to make ChatGPT sound like you.
sure.
Actually, if you want to know how I did it, it's on my channel. There's a video on there
Perfect.
called with a picture of Iva, who's the avatar for my channel, going like this, and it's called "Make ChatGPT Sound Like You Sound." 100% human. So it's right on the channel. But in any case, how I built this business. So the person who connected SJ and I, her name is Morgan Victoria, and she's awesome.
Yes, she
And
is.
I met her in a Twitter space. And I don't really go to Twitter spaces a lot. I've been trying to go more, but I don't know. They're not 100% my thing. But anyway,
Got you. Mhm.
but it's a nice way to meet people. And I'm thinking about doing one of my own and building in public. And so she
Yeah.
and I connected, and we connected about Imagine AI Live, which I don't know if you guys know about it, but it is a AI conference. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay with you,
Yeah, absolutely.
to show you Imagine AI Live, and also to show you the business I did here. So this is Imagine AI Live, and
So
it
there we go.
is in Las
Yeah.
Vegas,
I'm going.
March. You are?
Yes,
Oh my God,
absolutely.
really?
Yeah,
I'm gonna see
100%.
you there.
Yeah,
So
I signed up to do the scholarship program because I was just like, I'm learning and this is new for me and like I don't have that much to, I want to invest in myself and I want to invest in this kind of education, and I was
it
like, well, if I
is
can volunteer and cut that cost a little bit and, still be able to go, they accepted that. So I'm stoked.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I've got some more news for you too about
Ooh,
that, which
ooh,
might bring your cost down even more. So
ooh.
anyway,
Yes, please.
yes, because it is not it's not cheap, to be honest.
Yeah.
He is asking, I think, a very reasonable price, but not really a cheap price. I believe his let's see, I don't know where he has the cost page on here. Oh, he's doing by February 15th too. But the cost is like oh, I don't know. Let's see. Frequently asked questions, speaker lineup, where's the event? But it's
It
around
might be under
it's
a
1500, I think.
right. That sounds right. There were 3
15
different tiers. It was like I think
There
it was
were
like
3 different tiers.
1,500,
One was like
1,200.
500 or something, one was
Mhm.
1500, it's the regular tier. And then the other tier is oh, here it's on attend, the
There you
big
go.
button right here. Yeah, right here. Steve, if he ever watches, he'll be like, Jessa, there was a big button right here. Steve is the founder of Imagine AI Live. So
Okay.
anyway, you have the scholar pass, then you have the general pass, and then you have the VIP pass, right?
Fancy. Yeah.
So it's definitely spendy, but worth it. Anyway, I'm going to be at Imagine AI Live as the voice. In other words, I am the person who says, "Welcome to Imagine AI Live. The next speaker on stage is blah 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 blah." And the way I got that gig was Steve found my YouTube channel, and one of the things that I am known for in that channel is a very smooth voice, which I'm not using right now. This is just my normal speaking voice. But when I record, I say, uh, "Hey there, it is I versus AI, and today we are going to be," et cetera, et cetera.
I love this that we
So
also have that in common because that's how I
yeah, we
read
both do
the
voice work.
audiobook. Yeah.
Yep.
That's so cool.
So he hired me as the voice of Imagine AI Live, and I have joined the founders team, which is just a small group of people who are helping bring this to fruition. But anyway, I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna show you my sorry about leaving that tab there. But this is the business that I built in 9 days, and I'm gonna show you how I did it. This is Femularity. It's a mastermind of powerful visionary women who love AI. And what you're looking at right now, all of these images were made by Midjourney. And I the
Wow.
much of the text, and particularly the the layout was brainstormed with ChatGPT.
So
And so
cool.
I'm going to tell you how I did this in 9 days. And I also, there's the frequently asked questions page, which ChatGPT helped me with a lot. The founders page, which has a cool little story about this story and how I did this using OpenAI's speech to text API, which I'll show you about in a little bit. And then finally, the join page with more awesome imagery from Midjourney.
Wow.
So basically, Morgan and I had a wonderful conversation. I met her in a Twitter space, one of her Twitter spaces, and she checked out my profile and she said, "Oh my gosh, you're part of Imagine AI Live. I would love to come. I would be happy to volunteer, etc., etc." And I said, "Well, what can you do?" And she said, "Well, I do events." And I said, I can do things like that. I can do social media. I can do all kinds of things. And I said, "Well, it's interesting because I just threw a Christmas party." I'm going to show you guys this. A Christmas party for, let me see here. It would be here. Yeah. I just threw a Christmas party for 35 people, and I used Midjourney to make the art for the invitations. This menu, you can just see a peek of some watercolor art behind there.
Mm-hmm.
That's Midjourney. There was a different menu on every page. I used ChatGPT and Midjourney to help me design this entire party. Let me show you an example of this. Was Midjourney that was on the kitchen door.
Cute.
And right here, so these were the place cards for the dinner party. And this was a 5-course meal for 35 people. And you can see how every single background on the place cards is different.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this little silver bell here? That was all Midjourney. So when I sent the invitations out to the party, every person got a different invitation with a different watercolor background. And ChatGPT helped me with the party organization, everything from what size. Here's another example of that place card. I am cooking for 35 people. The main dish is a smoked Gouda mac and cheese. On Amazon, I'm going to buy these boxes that are 16 ounces each. How many boxes should I buy for each person to get a decent serving, remembering that this is a 5-course meal, so they'll already be somewhat full and won't take a normal size. And I said, I would go to Perplexity and I would say, what's the typical size for serving? Well, it's about 4 to 6 ounces. So it would tell me, using Code Interpreter, to do the math, how many boxes I needed to make the smoked mac and cheese, the smoked Gouda mac and cheese.
Wow.
It also kept track of all the different boxes. Let me show you. There's one other picture I'm looking for. Here. On each table, there were 6 tables. We had these little framed sayings. There were different ones for each table. And as you can see, the little background here, that was Midjourney. But also, the other thing that we didn't just use Midjourney. If you just look here, you can see a little logo here,
Mhm.
and it says Ian and Jessa. That's my husband's name. That logo was made with Ideogram AI, which is the best AI I have found for making text. I'll drop that on screen right now for you guys.
Awesome.
So in any case, that was a little idea, another way that I'm using Midjourney, which I can talk about, and ChatGPT and all of that. So after I got done talking to Morgan, she said, "You are so powerful. You should start a women's group, an elite women in AI group." And I said, "There isn't one already, like for AI enthusiasts?" And she said, "Not that I know of." And she's pretty connected, so she would probably have heard
Yeah.
of it. And I thought, maybe this will solve the problem I'm having of finding a space for women to connect and get together. And so from December 30th to January 4th, I just spent those days brainstorming. And I came up with the phrase, get it, girl, because I was looking for women who got it as far as AI was concerned, who understood how powerful AI was going to be. Like, for example, we talked about the crypto space, and I don't get crypto. So you're looking, if you were going to start something like this, I would not be your target audience. You want to find those people that are already talking about it and already can see the vision ahead. I also wanted women who were out there getting their success. I didn't want a bunch of women to come in who didn't understand anything about AI and then want a bunch of other people to just teach them. I wanted people who were go-getters, who were already doing something amazing with AI. And I wanted it to be a mastermind because every month we would meet and we would talk about whatever it is we're trying to do. You might come and you might say, well, I'm trying to build my show. I want to use more AI tools to do it. I want to get more reach. So you would be on the hot seat, and that means that you're the person who's talking about what your challenges are. And then the rest of the women in the group would be like, have you thought of this? Have you tried that? Oh, you could do this. And they would bolster you. And then they would say, okay, by next month, you're going to come back and tell us how you did one amazing thing, even if it's a small thing, but one amazing thing. And then you would get the peer support, you would get the feedback, you would get the connection, and the women would connect together and we would all help each other because AI is all helping us be better. But the one thing about AI is that in order to align artificial intelligence, we need collective intelligence. We need people coming together.
Yes.
It will not happen from people separating. And so the whole get it girl concept was the first thing I did. And then on January 4th, Morgan, who didn't know me, by the way, we'd only met on Twitter that week, literally, sat in a Google Meet call with me most nights from January 4th through January 13th when I put the final touches on this idea and was ready to put it out in the world. She sat with me for 3 to 4 hours and watched me pull it together. And it was amazing for her because she got to watch me use AI in real time and all the ways we did it. The first thing that we did is the branding. And we created a logo. We created a logo. And this is the Femularity logo. And this logo is from Ideogram. Want to know if chat's following along? Let me know if you guys are doing okay. Ideogram AI is the best. It did text before Midjourney version 6 did. Midjourney version 6 came out just 2 weeks ago. So this one does text also in Spanish, and it's really the best for text. And it's excellent. It's not talked about very much. I don't know why, but it's really good for that.
I have seen that one. I'm glad I got that one. Yeah, on in my pocket. There is one other. I think there are more than a couple, but there's one other streamer within our crypto community, ATX Crypto. Shout out to him. He's actually the first person that started doing anything in terms of sharing his AI journey and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm using these tools. So I believe I got Ideogram from him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so this was basically what we did was we just sat down and I just said, a logo for a networking group of women who love AI called Femularity. And the way I came up with the name and why I'm so clear on the dates and how long it took me is that the first 5 days of me thinking about this, besides going to New Year's Eve and being busy with all that kind of holiday stuff, I was racking my brains to find a name that was available that would make sense to a woman who was in the AI space. Because if you're in the AI space, you've heard of the singularity. Everyone has. It's very huge concept. And I wanted something that a name for the group that the minute the woman that I was targeting heard it, she would go, oh, this sounds great. Like, this sounds, what is this? I want to know about this. The Femularity? What is that? Women and the singularity? What is that? So, so that was basically it. We came up with the logo. I registered the name. And then over the next number of days, I used AI for doing numerous things, including the logo. This is all the branding that we did for it. We picked the fonts, we picked the colors for it. And then we moved into making a one-page brand strategy document. I'm going to just show you that. This is the Femularity brand strategy. And oops, and I have to get access to it because I'm in the wrong. Let me see here. I'm going to just go here. Oh, I'm signed in the wrong place here. Let me go to here. I believe it is. And nope, I can't get in there. Well, okay, you'll have to just trust me that I did a one-page brand document. Because I needed the text for the website. And so I went to ChatGPT and I asked it to help me come up with a brand strategy. And I'll just pull up that text here. And then besides that, I'm going to just finish this up real quickly by showing you how I did that from the beginning. So I asked it once again, I usually start out with what I want to do, some ideas that I have, and then I ask it to ask me questions so that I can get further targeted in on what it is I need.
Just even
And it
that
will
alone helps. That piece of just asking it to help you, ask you
Exactly.
questions. That's brilliant.
It's huge. And then I talked it in again, as I've shown you before. And then it ended up giving me a fantastic 700 character description. I wanted something very short. Femularity is not just a mastermind, it's a revolution in AI. Here, get it, girls, unite. And then this is what we use to build our one-page brand strategy document that helped me with the whole. It gave me one page and it has the call to action on it, has the ideal customer, it has the mission statement. And we did that entire strategy document in 40 minutes. And then we use that to write out all the text on the website. The last tool I wanted to share with you was I told you about the Whisper AI. So some of you may have heard of Obsidian. Obsidian is a note-taking app, which I love. It's free, and it is it's offline. That's another great reason. It's not on a server somewhere. It can't be taken away from you. And it has a ton of community plugins, like a ton. And one of the plugins, I'm just going to open up my Obsidian and show you. One of the plugins that it has is a plugin called Text Generator, which will, oops, my bad here. One moment, please. Text Generator, which will bring the power of GPT-4 right into your note-taking app. You know, Notion has that too. Notion has AI too. Well, this is the same thing, except it's free, including the plugin is free.
Wow.
And people can make templates for it. And a wonderful person called System Sculpt, who has a YouTube channel, made a template which records and transcribes audio using Whisper. So when I got to the point where I was doing the founder's page here, and I wanted to tell my story, I knew it was going to take a couple of paragraphs, and I was flagging. It was on day 6 or 7 at that point of working on this every single night for, 8 to 9 hours a night and working on this. And so I thought, wouldn't it be good if I could just talk my story out rather than sitting here and typing it out? Because, man, I'm tired. So I did just that. I went to Obsidian and I spoke my entire story in. In fact, I'm going to stop this. You can see up in the right-hand corner here, it says recording audio. Press the period key to stop. So I'm going to do that. It's going to transcribe the audio, everything I was just saying to you. And there you go.
Wow.
So all I did was I talked my story. I'm going to go over here.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to open up my story here. All I did was talk it into Obsidian using that template. And then I added paragraphs, cleaned up a little bit of the text, which didn't need much because as you can see, even when I make a mistake, in the words, it understands what I'm saying and outputs perfect sentences. And then I turned it into that, dropped it into this page, and then down here, I put, by the way, I dictated the story into OpenAI's speech to text, and it transcribed my words beautifully. Femularity is built from the ground up with the help of AI, and I wasn't lying when I said that. Every single thing with Femularity. The last step that I did is appreciate you guys on your wonderful response to this. Is Femularity is a mastermind group, and we come together in a community, and our digital community space is in Discord. And this is the Discord. And ChatGPT helped me with this as well too. I wanted the Discord to feel like a manor house, where you have the veranda, where the events are held, the foyer, where you're welcomed, the introductions, the discussion, all of that kind of stuff, right? And the video chats and all of that below stairs, which I thought was pretty funny.
Can you
That's
share
where this,
that link to the Discord? Or is
I
that going to be
cannot.
just for...
It's behind the membership. Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, got you. I got
Yes.
you. Okay,
I cannot. So in order to get access to that
brilliant.
Discord, you need to head over here and fill out the form.
I clicked that button. I'm waiting to do a video for you. I want to do a little...
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
So that was basically it. So ChatGPT helped me with that.
Awesome.
And like, for example, and I was like, I need an emoji for the Your Projects one. Give me a list of emojis that will work well for this. Or what areas of the manor house could I have it be, and what could each represent?
Wow.
It gave me that. And then, so it was really good for helping me get the idea that was in my head and then get it into concrete form. And then at that point, it's basically just copying and pasting it in, creating each area. Then the last tool that really helped me, let me just show you this. No manor house is complete without a butler. And you may not be able to hear this. You can't hear it. That's all right. I will give it to you here. I'm going to just drop it into the chat for StreamYard, and you can just click on it and play it yourself. And I'll also drop it into the chat here in YouTube, and you guys can go and hear Heather B's voice, because the every woman who joins the Femularity will be greeted personally. Let me go back here to the Discord. Sorry about that there. Will be greeted personally by Peatherby with a custom designed welcome message just for them.
Let me see if I can play it real quick, if it'll...
I don't hear any. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
Did anybody hear that?
I didn't hear it, unfortunately, but hopefully you guys have that link in the chat so that you can hear Peatherby.
Very cool. He sounds very proper. I like it.
Yeah, he's a real English butler. Yeah, we couldn't hear that, but click on the link and you guys will be able to hear Peatherby's voice, because it's just a link that just plays. Anyone can listen to it. So those are all of the AI tools that I used. I used Ideogram, Midjourney, ChatGPT, and I lose track with OpenAI's Whisper and 11 Labs. And I built a business on February 13th. The last section, which was building the Patreon page, which, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys, I forgot to show you that. So really,
you mean January?
Really fast.
January 13th?
January. Did I say February?
Okay.
I meant January.
Yeah. I was like, you are in the future?
Sometimes. And sometimes
right? Absolutely.
I'm just don't make any sense.
Yeah.
But this is the Patreon page, and ChatGPT Midjourney made the welcome sign. I wanted there to be a sign that looked like you were coming up to a manor house.
How lovely.
And then this is the about, just, welcome to the Femularity. And then finally, the membership. And the membership here is actually the founders tier is $30 a month, the founders tier. And for that, those are the first members into the group. And then on February 15th, it goes up to the regular membership price. And that gives you access to the digital community, the in-person community. So there's going to be an actual event at the Imagine AI Live. I'm
Oh,
going to
wow.
hold it in one of the
Very cool.
rooms. So all of
Okay.
the Get It girls, all the Femularity members can meet that are
Yes.
there. Every month there's a speaker, someone in the AI space. And then also every month there's a mastermind. And then finally, the last perk is if you are a founding member, you'll get a coupon code to get $500 off of your registration for Imagine AI Live.
Like, that is worth it already for me, so
So and a fun thing, I haven't even really formally announced it. This is the first time I'm talking about it live. I've talked about it in a
Woo!
few Twitter spaces,
Uh-huh.
but today I got my first sign up. In fact, 2 women
Woo!
signed up today.
Congratulations!
I was so psyched because I was really scared. I'm gonna stop sharing again now.
Yeah.
But I was really scared. Because I did this on just a wing and a prayer. Like Morgan just said, "You should do this." And I thought about it and I went, "I really want women to talk to. I really want to connect to them. I really want to build a mastermind of powerful women. All right, I'll just try it." But I had no idea if it was going to work. And today I was in a Twitter space, which was a very good Twitter space. But the leader of the Twitter space said, "Well, I don't know if, you are solving a real problem here because I don't know if women really, you know, like I already have women to talk to about AI. So why would I join your group to talk to women about AI?" And I felt pretty disheartened, but I thought it's not just about a place to talk about AI. It is much more than that. It is a place to get connected in a um, much deeper way than just Twitter can allow, even Twitter spaces can allow.
Yeah.
1, 2, we get to meet in person, and that will happen yearly. That we'll have a way to meet in person. 3, we get to meet a speaker and ask them questions. And then the number one thing is we get a chance to finally bounce our ideas off of others and help us. Masterminds are about peers coming together to help each other achieve their success goals. So with the power of AI and the power of the fellowship of the women, we all succeed. So I thought, how old do you have to be to join? That's a good question, Franklin. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there may be daughters, they're like young and
18 maybe? I don't know. 16? I mean, basically, you just need to be a responsible and respectful adult. And I've actually run a Discord for 7 years now. And there was someone who joined the Discord and he was 14 at the time. Best member ever. He was wonderful. I just said, "You need to assure me that you're not using your parents' credit card without their knowledge to get in this group. If you can assure me of that, I'll just take your word for it and you're welcome here." He's been there for 5 years now. It's great. So he's in college now. So I guess that's a great question, Franklin. I'm going to say 16, 18, but basically it's just if you are a woman if you identify as a woman doing something amazing with AI, then come on in. Basically,
love it.
it is a vetted group. I am going to look at each woman. If I feel like I can't see why I would, but if I felt like someone's not a good fit, I would not invite them in. It's invite only. So that's why you join the wait list. But most women, I think, are fine. So that's basically what I'm doing. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yay! I love it. Jessa, thank you so much for being my guest. I wish I had more time, but I actually produced another show that's on live right now, so I got a place to be. And I have another friend, chat will appreciate this. I got a friend who just texted me that said he's got a friend that wants to get onboarded into Hex, so I got some work to do. All the links about everything Jessa is a part of are in the chat or the description of this YouTube. I also posted a few of her tutorials in the chat itself, but you can find all of those on her YouTube channel. Let me think. I'm gonna say thank you real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap it up on my own real quick for a minute. Talk to my chat about a couple crypto things. Jessa, please let's schedule something again, maybe another 2 weeks from now. Whenever you've got time, I would love to continue this conversation. I think that this is super powerful and awesome, and I can't wait to be a part of your group. And I'm so stoked that I'm gonna get to meet you in like a couple months at the Imagine AI conference. So
I am
again, like,
so excited
thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me.
All right. Wow, y'all. What a trip. I am mind blown. There are so many different ways to utilize AI that I never even would have even thought to think of. So, how awesome to have, it's beautiful when you see reflections of yourself, right? Like to have Jessa talking about wanting to uplift other women, right? I mean, that's why I started this stream in the first place, Women Crush Wednesday, right? Like I've always had that kind of heart. Let me take that back. I haven't. When I got into crypto, when I got into Hex, I started realizing that we're a special kind of breed of woman here because I think a lot of us have an underlying kind of not necessarily belief system, but we all kind of have. There's got to be some little extra that we've got to be in this world of DeFi and digital, artistry and AI. I think in general. I wanted to say, so one thing that totally resonated with me when Jessa was talking about the fact that, being disheartened a little bit about, what that one woman said, oh, I already have women to talk to. Being in person is a whole nother story. And y'all know pulsechaintour.com. That's what the last year I've spent on the road, meeting other people in the Richard Hart ecosystem, Pulse Chain, Hex, like to get to actually go physically and shake someone's hand, for people to come up to me and say that they've been appreciative of any work that I've done, to have that real, just face-to-face interaction is invaluable, and it is so meaningful, and it is so needed, especially being people that are part of kind of this digital world, right? Like we see each other on a screen, we talk on X often, but to actually have that person to person interaction and to get to know one another in real life, it just takes everything to another level. So I am so excited that this even happened. Like Jessa had mentioned, I had a whole list of questions that I wanted to do. Miriam kind of knows. Miriam actually was my last guest on my Women Crush Wednesday show. So I had prefabbed questions and we went through the whole thing. I'm kind of glad that it just went the way it went. And I am really excited about opening the doors to more discussion on this and having more people, whether they're in the Hex ecosystem or not, getting to know how to utilize these tools to the best of our ability, because this is the future, y'all. And what a world to be a part of, to be where I am right now on the cutting edge of technology when it comes to DeFi and the cutting edge of technology when it comes to AI. I feel like a cyborg just a little bit in a beautiful, wonderful way, because my brain is just like exploding with fireworks right now. I'm stoked. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone on the replay. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, keep it positive, and remember, first thing in the morning, what should you do? Lift the corners of your mouth. Get that brain awake and then smile, because you got another day. Why not? Thanks, y'all. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Since I keep yelling at RG to do this, I have to do it myself. If you're coming to Vegas March 6th through 9th for the Pulse Chain Tour, you got to book your hotel ASAP, because we have blocks that are only, like, the pricing of the hotel blocks is only good until the 4th of February. So you've only got like 2.5, 3 weeks to book your hotel at a discounted price. Check out pulsechain.com. All the details are on there. But just please make sure that you do that if you're coming, because we want you to get a discount, because duh, why not? Because then you can buy more Hex. Okay, bye.